Hi, this is Marina Joseph, an HPAC ambassador, and today we're going to be talking about time management, which in my opinion is super critical to your success as a student and just as a human. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Imagine that you have a jar and you're trying to fill that jar up with three things: these big fat rocks, little small marbles, and tiny pieces of sand. Which one are you going to put in there first to maximize your space in the jar? Give you guys a second to think about that. Okay, so in order to maximize your space in the jar, you should put the largest object first. So the big fat rocks. And then put in the marbles. And then when you have those two in the jar, you can fill in all itty bitty spaces in between the two with sand. If you do this in the opposite order, you're going to find out that you have much less space. And the same applies to time management. You need to add the big important things first, and then add the smaller, less important things next. You'll find out that this really reduces your stress levels as well as really maximizes your time. So if you take the time to meditate and write down how much time it takes to do all your essentials. So go to class, study, do your extracurriculars, take a shower, go to the bathroom, eat, sleep, you're likely going to find that it's much less than 24 hours. And so there's this question of, where does this time escape? Well, in my opinion, one of the best ways to make sure that you're really making the most out of every single 24-hour cycle is to make an hour by hour. So what I personally do is, at the beginning of every quarter, I go on Google Calendar, I input all of my classes for the quarter, my work schedule, and all of the meetings that I know for a fact that I'm going to have. And then at the start of every week, I more specifically go into that week and put in all the extra details. So for example, if I have a test, I know I'm going to allocate more time studying that week. So I know for sure that I need to plan that out in my schedule. If I have this random meeting or that random social gathering, I'll make sure to put that in my calendar as well. And I find personally that that really does maximize my jar or my 24 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and all learn how to use Google Calendar together. Just a heads up that before I went online to Google Calendar, I did used to use the basic handwritten planning method, but I found out that as my schedule got more complex, it was definitely harder to switch things around, and that's why I personally switched to online. One thing that I definitely do want to say is that it does take a while, I guess, to input everything into Google Calendar. Maybe it's a 10-minute to 15-minute investment, but I would say that it is definitely worth it. I would say that putting in that 15 minutes will end up magically giving you around, I don't know, 10, 20 hours in your week if you schedule everything properly. Okay, so the way that you get on Google Calendar, you can just literally Google Calendar and it will be the first link that comes up most likely, or you can just go on calendar.google.com. Okay, and now this is going to be my schedule for fall quarter. So the first thing that I'm going to do is input my classes. And this is how you find out what classes you are registered for. You're going to go on your student portal on our web, and then you're going to hit My Term Schedule. It's going to take you to a page like this. You're gonna go ahead and hit the quarter that you're looking for. So I'm looking for fall 2020. And this is going to show all of the classes that I'm scheduled to take in fall quarter. Okay, so that's what it kind of looks like. You can see that there is a color-coded schedule right here. You just need to pull this bar up to be able to see that. Or you can take a look at this list. It shows you the title of the class and a lot of other information. And if you click on the title, then you can see a lot of other pieces of information that are really critical. But in specific, what I am looking for is this tab right here, instructor/meeting time. Okay, so I'm going to go through, and for every single class, I am going to input a time in my Google Calendar. So let's start with a reoccurring class. I'm going to go to Introduction to Genetics, and then I'm going to click on Instructor/meeting time. Okay, so this class occurs on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 1:30 to 2:20 p.m. So what you'll notice about UCR is that we technically have a week 0. So for week 0, we start on Thursday. So again, we're talking about October 1st, which is a Thursday, which means our Monday through Wednesday classes are going to be essentially non-existent. So what I like to do in making my schedule for fall quarter, I like to start from the week after, so week 1, and then I'll manually go in and add my week 0 schedule. So for this class, Intro to Genetics, I know that it's happening, again, we're in week 1 and it's happening from 1:30 to 2:20. So I'm going to want to do some additional things with this event. So I'm going to go ahead and click the More Options button. I'll put in the title, so Intro to Genetics. And I know that this class actually ends at 2:20, so I'll adjust that. And it's also a repeating event. So I'm going to hit this Custom button, and I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's happening on all 3 of those days. Now, there are 10 weeks in the quarter, and this event is happening 3 times in the week. So that's a total of 30 times that this event will happen. So I'm going to tell Google Calendar after 30 times, I want this event to stop being recurring. So with that being said, sometimes there are random, President's Days, days off, and I will manually go ahead and delete those events. So I'll go ahead and click Done. I want to add a location because I know week 1 I probably won't have these locations memorized. So I'll go ahead and copy and paste this location into here. I also have a notification center here, so it's going to remind me 10 minutes before my class that I should go to class, which is right around enough time to walk to class if you're already on campus. I can either get a notification on my laptop or on my phone if you have the Google Calendar app downloaded, but I could also I can also switch it to an email notification. I find that kind of annoying because you'll end up with like 50 notifications every week. So I personally like just like the normal notification. I put my classes personally in that tangerine color, so I definitely strongly recommend color coding. And then in the description, what you can do, for example, is write the professor's name. You'll have a lot of new professors, so it's sometimes difficult to remember their names. Also, if this is an online class, you can put the Zoom link or whatever link you need to access in the description, or maybe even a textbook or syllabus link, etc. So it's just easy access. I'll go ahead and click that Save button, and now you can see that it is all over my calendar for the next 10 weeks. Now, the next thing that I'll do is just go ahead and add all the rest of my classes into my Google Calendar, and then I'll come back to talk about some additional things that I'll do. I am very obedient to my Google Calendar, so I always double and triple check that it is correct, because if it is not, I will surely end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so I suggest that you do the same. So as you can see, I went ahead and added all of my classes as well as my work schedule. Now, there are some other essential components that I do add to my calendar. So I know that sleep is more important to some people and less important to some people. So I would just be really honest with yourself. If you don't get enough sleep, it's going to be the equivalent of trying to write with an empty pen. So that's not fun. I personally schedule my sleep so that I know for a fact when I have studying time and when my calendar is just marked off. I get approximately 8 hours of sleep per night, and that's what I need to get this kind of full pen to write with throughout the day. So I know it's going to take around an hour for me to get everything together, meditate, do my night routine, pray, etc. At night. I'll start off blocking everything off at 10 so I can go to sleep by 11. So I'll go ahead and put sleep there. This is going to happen on a daily basis, which I hope is the case for everyone. And I know I'm gonna wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. And let's see, don't really need a location. I do need a notification, and I like to mark that off in gray. And so I'll go ahead and save that. And as you can see, now I know what areas of my day I'm working with, just this section right here. Next off, what I'll do is add all my additional meetings. I'll add my church schedule. I'll add all my social gatherings, friend dates, etc. And also my studying time. I think that is super important to schedule your studying time because I kind of forget that it's a thing that takes time personally. One thing that I'll also do at the beginning of the quarter is I'll take a look at the syllabus and if there are any important dates that I need to mark. So for example, say that I have a test this week, I will change the color of this to yellow. So that way, when I go and schedule my week, I know for a fact that I need to dedicate more studying time to that week. And I'll typically fill this out until it's completely full with different colors with all my meetings and whatever else is going on. The way that I personally did things, and I know that everyone's different, is my first quarter of my freshman year, I joined a lot of extracurriculars. And then from then on, every quarter, I would limit myself to one more extracurricular. Don't be afraid to take the time to sit with yourself for 10 to 20 minutes when you feel like things are getting really busy and really stressful, and really asking yourself, do I need to drop something? Do I need to tell someone that I can't dedicate as much time to X, Y, and Z, etc. Definitely make sure that you take care of your mental health because that is vital to your success as a person and a student. The biggest piece of advice that I always give students is you are a human before you are a pre-health student. So always, always, always keep that in the back of your head. Take care of yourselves, and thank you so much for watching.